Hello and welcome to another spiritual learning video. Today we're going to go over Druid beliefs. Probably one of the most striking characteristics of Druidism is the degree to which it is free of dogma and any fixed set of beliefs or practices. In this way, it manages to offer a spiritual path, a way of being in the world that avoids many of the problems of intolerances that the established religions have encountered. There is no sacred text or the equivalent of a Bible in Druidism, and there is no universally agreed set of beliefs amongst Druids. Despite this, there are a number of ideas and beliefs that most Druids hold in common, and that help to define the nature of Druidism today. Let's go over the theology. Since Druidism is a spiritual path, a religion to some, a way of life to others, Druids share a belief in the fundamentally spiritual nature of life. Some will favor a particular way of understanding the source of this spiritual nature, and may feel themselves to be animalists or just relating to the existence of a divine reality. Others will avoid choosing any one conception of deity, believing that by its very nature, this is unknowable by the mind. Monotheistic Druids believe there is one deity, either a goddess or a god, or a being who is better named Spirit or Great Spirit, to remove misleading associations to gender. But other Druids are duotheists, believing that deities exist as a pair of forces or beings, which they often characterize as the god and goddess. Polytheistic Druids believe that many gods and goddesses exist, while animalists and pantheists believe that a deity does not exist as one or more personal gods, but is instead present in all things and is everything. Whether they have chosen to adapt a particular viewpoint or not, the greatest characteristic of most modern-day Druids lies in their tolerance of diversity. A Druid gathering can bring together people who have wildly varying views about deity or none, and they will happily participate in ceremonies together, celebrate the seasons, and enjoy each other's company, realizing that none of us have the monopoly on truth and that diversity is both healthy and natural. Nature forms such an important focus on their relevance that whatever beliefs they hold about deity, all Druids sense nature as divine or sacred. Every part of nature is sensed as part of the great web of life, with no one creature or aspect of it having supremacy over another. Unlike religions that are anthropocentric, believing humans occupy a central role in the scheme of life, this conception is systematic and holistic and sees humankind as just one part of the wider family of life. Their beliefs in the other world. Although Druids love nature and draw inspiration and spiritual nourishment from it, they also believe that the world we see is not the only one that exists. A cornerstone of Druid belief is in the existence of the other world, a realm or realms which exist beyond the reach of the physical senses, but which are nevertheless real. This other world is seen as a place we travel to when we die, but we can also visit it in our lifetime, in our dreams, meditation, under hypnosis, or in journeying when in a shamanic trance. Different Druids will have different views on the nature of this other world, but it is a universally held belief for 3 reasons. Firstly, all religions or spiritualities hold the view that another reality exists beyond the physical world, rather than agreeing with materialism that holds that only matter exists and is real. Secondly, Celtic mythology, which inspires so much of Druidism, is filled with descriptions of the other world. Thirdly, the existence of the otherworld is implicit in the greatest belief of the ancient Druids, since classical writers stated that the Druids believe in a process that has been described as reincarnation, in which a soul lives in a succession of forms, including both human and animal. In between each life in human or animal form, the soul rests in the otherworld. The Druids' belief on death and rebirth. While a Christian Druid may believe that the soul is only born once on earth, most Druids adapt to the belief of their ancient ancestors that the soul undergoes a process of consecutive reincarnations, either always in human form or in a variety of forms that might include trees and even rocks as well as animals. Many Druids share the belief reported by Philostratus in the 2nd century, that the Celts believed that to be born into this world, we had to die in the other world, and vice versa, that when we die here, we are born into the other world. For this reason, Druid funerals try to focus on the idea that the soul is experiencing a time of birth, even though here we are experiencing that as their death. Let's go over the 3 goals of a Druid. A clue as to the purpose behind the process of consecutive rebirths can be found if we look at the goals of the Druid. Druids seek, above all else, cultivation of wisdom, creativity, and love. A number of lives on Earth, rather than just one, gives us the opportunity to fully develop these qualities within us. Wisdom. The goal of wisdom is shown to us in 2 old teaching stories. One, the story of Finn McCool from Ireland, and the other story is Taliesin from Wales. In both stories, wisdom is sought by an older person, in Ireland in the form of the Solemn of Wisdom, in Wales in the form of 3 drops of inspiration. In both stories, a younger helper ends up tasting the wisdom, so jealousy sought by the adults. These tales, rather than simply teaching the virtues of innocence and helpfulness, contain instructions for achieving wisdom, encoded within their symbolism and the sequence of events they describe, and for this reason are used in the teachings of Druidism. Creativity. The goal of creativity is also central to Druidism because of the bards have long been seen as participants in Druidism. Many believe that in the old days they transmitted the wisdom of the Druids through song and story, and with their vast memories they knew the genealogy of the tribes and the stories associated with the local landscape. Celtic cultures display a love of art, music, and beauty that often evokes awareness of the otherworld, and their old Braddock tales depict a world of sensual beauty in which craftspeople and artists are highly honored. Love. Druidism can be seen as fostering the 3rd goal of love in many different ways to encourage us to broaden our understanding and experience of it, so that we can love widely and deeply. Druidism's reverence for nature encourages us to love the land, the earth, the stars, and the wild. Often, Druid ceremonies begin with an offering of peace to each cardinal direction. There's a Druid peace prayer, and Druids plant peace groves. The Druid's path also encourages the love of beauty because it cultivates the bard, the artist within, and fosters creativity. The love of justice is developed in modern Druidism by being mentioned in the Druid's prayer, and many believe that the ancient Druids were judges and lawmakers who were more interested in restorative than punitive justice. Druidism also encourages a love of each other by fostering the magic of relationship and community, and above all, the love of life by encouraging celebration and a full commitment to life. It is not a spirituality which tries to help us escape from a full engagement with the world. Living in the world, the real test of the value of the spiritual path lies in the degree to which it can help us live our lives in the world. It needs to be able to provide us with inspiration, counsel, and encouragement as we navigate the sometimes difficult and even tragic events that can occur during a lifetime. The web of life and the illusion of separateness, woven into much of Druid thinking and all of its practice, is the idea or belief that we are all connected in a universe that is essentially benign, that we do not exist as an isolated being who must fight to survive in a cruel world. Instead, we are seen as part of a great web or fabric of life that includes every living creature and all of creation. The law of harvest, related to the idea that we are all connected in one great big web of life, is the belief held by most Druids that whatever we do in the world creates an effect which will ultimately also affect us. A similar idea can be found in many different cultures and traditions. Folk wisdom in Britain says that what goes around comes around, and in ancient Egypt they say, "As ye sow, so shall ye reap." What is sown, love, anger, or bitterness? That shall be your bread. The corn is no better than its seed. Then let what you plant be good. In Hinduism and Buddhism, the idea is expressed as the doctrine of cause and effect, called karma. The two beliefs that all is connected and that we will harvest the consequence of our actions come naturally to the Druids because they represent ideas that evolve out of an observation of the natural world. Just as the feeling of our being part of the great web of life can come to us as we gaze in awe at the beauty of nature, so the awareness that we will reap the consequence of our action also comes to us as we observe the process of sowing and harvesting. Druidism's modern worldwide appeal lies in its focus on reverence for the natural world, a belief in the values of personal creativity and of developing a sense of communication with the powers of nature and the spirit. Its startling recent growth derives from its broad appeal, some treat it as a philosophy, others a religion, still others as a path of self-development. The practice of Druidism used to be confined to those who could learn from a Druid in person, but now you can take an experience-based course wherever you live, and when you take this course, you also join the Order of the Bards. Thank you for joining us for another spiritual learning video. If you like this content, please check out our playlist, Spiritual Learning, for more. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing. We'd love to have you. We'll see you again next week.